Hey, it's Crystal from the Abundantly Blessed Homestead. Today I'm going to be making sourdough English muffins, so stick around. Okay, so I'm starting this whole process the night before of the morning that I'd like to use them. You could also start it the morning before, up to 24 hours before you actually want to eat these. So in the beginning, you are going to go through a soaking process, which allows the sourdough to start breaking down the gluten and the coating on the outside of your flour. So what you need is a happy sourdough starter, one that has lots of bubbles, and has been fed recently. We're talking, 4 to 6 hours after feeding it, so it's really nice and happy and bubbly. You're going to need some flour, which this is my own home ground flour, not ground flour. And you're going to need some milk. And since I'm personally using homegrown or ground, why do I keep saying grown? I don't grow wheat here. Home ground flour, I'm going to be adding just a little bit of vital wheat gluten, which helps raise the gluten level in your baking product and acts a lot like yeast. It kind of makes it fluffier. So I usually use it when I make breads or things that I want to rise a little bit more. And with these English muffins, I just use a little tiny bit. So anyway, we're going to just take a bowl and we're going to measure out. This makes 8 English muffins. We are going to measure out 2 cups of flour. Now, you could also use a bread flour or an all-purpose flour, and then you don't need the vital wheat gluten when doing this. So there's my 2 cups of flour. We need 1/2 cup of sourdough starter. Maybe. Come on. Oh, there it comes. That was one of the things that I never quite understood very well about sourdough starters. You want it really thick, okay? So, if yours is runny, and doesn't do that, you might want to add less water. I don't even know what my hydration ratio is. It's just really thick. It's like a super thick pancake batter. Okay, and then milk. We need 1 cup of milk. Let's see, this is raw milk, so I gotta shake it up. Okay. 1 cup. And then we need 1 teaspoon, if you're using home ground flour, you're gonna wanna add 1 teaspoon of the vital wheat gluten.
Mix it.
And then we're going to mix it. And then all we're going to do is we're going to let this sit for 12 to 24 hours. We're going to go ahead and cover it, either with a towel or a lid, or maybe in this case a plate, just something so that the sourdough mixture does not dry out while it sits for 12 to 24 hours. Mine's going to sit for a little over 12, probably closer to 14. But that's what it looks like, you guys. Just nice and thick and well mixed. I'm just going to cover this and then we'll bring you guys back tomorrow. Good morning, you guys. It's the next morning. So it is early in the morning and I'm going to be adding stuff to this, okay? So this is our starter and our flour for our sourdough biscuits, our sourdough English muffins. All right, so we're going to be adding, let's see, 1 tablespoon of honey. Then we need 1 teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm also going to go over to my stove here. I'm going to turn it on, preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes on my personal stove. What we're doing is we're going to warm up the oven so that once we're done forming the muffins, that they have a place to rise, okay? So it won't even like fully preheat, but it will warm up the oven, okay? So now while that's going, that's a 2-minute timer. Whoops. It is now. We're going to knead this dough while we wait for 2 minutes. And it's just basically incorporating all of this. But you can see how this is definitely a dough, you guys. I've used other recipes, specifically like Farmhouse on Boone here on YouTube, and I love her, don't get me wrong, but I think sometimes when you're a beginner and you're trying to follow some of her sourdough recipes, it can get a little bit rough. I'm just being honest, because she doesn't, you know, she doesn't say, look at how formed this dough is, you guys. I mean, it's a little bit soft, but it's formed, you know, it's just, she kind of just talks you through it, and but doesn't mention a lot of the little details that when you're just beginning sourdough, you kind of miss it. So, anyway, we're going to just keep on working this. It's going to get softer as we work it. But as you saw in the beginning, I could totally tip this upside down and it wouldn't fall out, but it will now. So, it gets softer, the dough gets softer, and it should be getting softer as you work it. Alright. So now, it's all well incorporated. Whoops. Throwing dough. I'm going to go wash my hands. And now, we are going to go ahead and grab a baking sheet. And we're going to get that all greased up with some lard, coconut oil, or tallow or butter, your choice. I'm going to use lard. Oops, there it is. So I'm shutting off my oven because we're just warming it on up, guys. We're not baking anything. Don't make the mistake I did and accidentally leave the oven on and then put, oh, say, your starter in it in a glass jar. And then bake it. That's just not a good thing. So my oven is now turned off. And we're just, like I said, we're greasing this pan. And then, both hands are all greasy, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take this big ball of dough, and I'm going to try and divide it into 8 equal balls. Whether or not they're going to be equal is a different story. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of see what we can do here. I'm making them about the size of, oh, they're probably 3 inches across. Like a small hamburger patty. And when I say small, like the buns, you know, it would be too small for a bun, but that one I smushed a little bit more, so that was a little bit bigger. I don't know if I'm going to get 8 out of here, but we'll see. Remember that they're going to rise, so. And what's going to end up happening is after we're done forming these and we put them on the pan, doing it about the size of my palm. But you could obviously do whatever size you want. Anyway, we're going to stick this into the warm oven, and I'm going to cover it with a non-textured towel because it's going to be rising, you guys. We're going to leave it in there for 50 minutes while they rise on up. Let's see, how many are up to? We are up to 5. We might get 8. I don't know. I never count this stuff, and then I go to do these videos for you guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, it makes 8, but like I never really count it when I make it for my family, so there's 6. Oh yeah, we'll get 8. Okay. We're gonna get 8. Okay. The last one's gonna be like a mother of all muffins. I might add some more to a different one. It's gonna be kind of big. I'll add some more over here and see how that turns out for me. Alright. Last one, and it is sticky. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put these into the warm oven. The oven is off, once again, okay? And we're going to put it in there for 50 minutes with a non-textured, like I would not use this towel that has the ribs. Because as this rises, it's going to like kind of try and stick. So I'm going to cover it, put it inside the off but warm oven for 50 minutes, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so it's time to unload again. This is over here. And a bench scraper is super handy for this. You are going to smush it a little bit, and it's going to be some reforming that's going to have to happen, but if you have a bench scraper, it's actually like not too bad. So it gets all smushed, okay? But when you lay it down, gotta foof it up a little bit. It doesn't look too bad, okay? So that's going to go into my pan. It's already preheated. I've got 3 in there. Okay, it's on medium heat, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a lid on it. This just kind of helps to like let it rise a little bit more because I'm kind of slow. I'm actually going to reduce the heat just a little bit below medium. So on my stove, it's a number 4. Whatever notch is right before medium on your stove, go ahead and turn it down. We're just going to kind of let it have a little bit of time. Okay, so it's only been about 2 minutes, but as you can see, they are getting some serious rise on inside this pan. So the goal is to cook them for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and just work a little bit of a spatula underneath the corner and see if they are, toasty brown on the bottom side and are ready to flip. Now, you could sure do this entire process in an oven. I mean, you could leave them on the pan and bake them at 300 degrees, and 5-10 minutes in, go ahead and flip them. But the problem is that, well, for me anyway, we like kind of a brown, crispy, crunchy side to our English muffins. And when you bake them inside the oven, you don't get that as good as you get it in a pan. So skillet cooked is definitely crunchier outside. If you don't care about the crunchy outside, then go ahead and bake them. It's so much easier just to leave them on this cookie sheet and just bake them as it is. You already have your entire pan with lard on it, so it's ready to go. So we've got about 2 more minutes, and then I'll bring you back to flip them. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes, and I'm thinking they're ready to flip. I think I might have burned them. Just a little. They're extra crispy. There you go. See, that one's good. Look how nice and golden brown that one is. Perfect. Those are just about perfect. So these will cook once again with a lid on for another 5 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, but they might be done before 5 minutes. I'll check on them about minute number 4, and then we'll see if they're done. So once again, we're about 4 minutes in, and these guys are done. I'll show you how I tell. So when you feel the inside, it should feel like bread. See how it bounces back? It's not, my finger's not falling through to any sort of uncooked dough, okay? So these fancy muffins are done. And you could serve them with anything that you might want to. I mean, you could put a hamburger on these. It could be hamburger buns. You could put, we're going to put eggs and cheese on them for breakfast with a side of raw kefir milk. But you could serve them however you'd like. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you as part of our community. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway. So if you'd like to be part of that, please do me a favor and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.